first off, we're going to talk about the theory of the move, and then we're going to talk about the execution of the move. Okay, so you have a cruiser, and you'll have your rocket planes. Well, if you're coming in with your rocket planes, we'll just do this here. Whatever. Check out that amazing plane action. Oh, sorry. That's got to be bigger, and that's got to be smaller. There you go. Now you know it's a plane. His amazing art skills and shit. All right, so when you're coming in broadside, so that as this guy moves forward, you're going to be coming in, you meet in the middle, you strike the broadside. Well, what happens when the enemy turns in? Well, you just ricochet off the side. So what you have to do is notice that the enemy is turning in and turn out. You need to follow the side that you're striking. So if this side is going to be like this, well, then you'd have to strike it from this angle, right? Which means you'll be turning out, and then you'll do a hard cut to cut in and try to find the line to this. So this is a 90-degree angle here. We're going to be using that, and we're going to be explaining that further. So one more time, we're going to look at this, hopefully with a little less clutter. So you start approaching. Enemy cruiser sees your plane, starts to turn in. This is the target. This is where the target will be. So you need to strike from this line. How do you get to this line? You're going to swing out, cut in, start your attack line here. This is going to start your attack animation. And you can cause a 90-degree turn by using hard brake and hard turn. And hard turn means like using the keyboard thing to turn, not using your mouse. Although you can use the mouse, but realistically, you want it to just be full on, get it done. So he's coming in, you're coming over, you're trying to match the movement, do a little swirl thing, then hard cut, come back in, find the line, take the shot. Okay, so let's go back. What if, come on. What if the enemy instead is trying to cut out? Well, once again, read your target. Where is your target going? This is going to end up being down here. Okay, so you're going to accelerate to try to match the speed, because a ship can outturn planes. People will say, well, planes are really fast, they can... Yeah, sure. Well, this thing turning at 20 knots, when you start expanding this out to a distance, you need to go at like 500 knots to match the speed of this turn. Or you have to come in closer, and then maybe this is 200 knots or 150 knots. The closer you are, the more you're just bathing in their AA while you're trying to follow the turn to come in. But we see that the turn is happening, he's turning out. This is going to be where the target area is. We have to come in from this line. How do we do this? We're going to accelerate. So we'll put some extra speed here. We're going to keep trying to outburn the setup until we can get to a situation where we've now outmoved his turn. And then we again cut into this hard 90-degree attack strike so that we can ride the line to catch the citadel. So turning in, we're going to come up here, perform the 90-degree cut, and then come in. Turning out, we're going to hard accelerate, try and catch, and then swing in to catch it at the end of it. And then there's the last version of this, which rather than replace all this, we'll just redo it, because I wrote a whole bunch of stuff and I don't want to make it all go away. So essentially what we're talking about is if the cruisers turn in, well, they get wrecked. If the cruisers turn out, they get wrecked. Well, if the cruisers go straight, they get wrecked. So what does a cruiser do? Well, a cruiser can S-turn, which means they can do this. As soon as they start cutting in, the CV pilot has to recognize, he's turning in, I have to maneuver for that. The CV starts to swing out. But the cruiser then turns back in. So now that the CV is positioned to swing out, the CV either has to abort the strike, come back in, try to refine the line, etc., or they just come in and try to see if they can catch it anyway. So some of the best stuff that you can do against the CV pilot or the German CV pilot is doing the S curve, where you can fake a turn in but then cut back out, or fake a turn out but then cut back in. And because they have to move to set up the shot, they actually move into a position that makes the follow-up or the following turn destroy the shot effectively. Now, this is all against moving targets. If a target is stationary, if a target is locked in a position, because there's possibilities of gunfire and yada yada, your teammates can kill them if they move, well, then they're probably going to take a lot of rockets and they're probably going to hate life. But, that's the power of teamwork. That's you working together with your team to get somebody dead.